Welcome to this installment of GRE Vocab Wednesdays. I'm Chris with Magoosh, and today's theme is traveling words. How I arrived at this theme was I've actually been on vacation for a couple of weeks or so. So I'm back. Here I am. Hi. And I have words relating to traveling. Specifically, I went to Europe with my wife and my 2-year-old, and so it was quite challenging. So it was travel, but it was tough. And so the first traveling word we have is travail, because when you have a 2-year-old who throws tantrums in public squares, not an easy thing. It's a travail because travail means hard work, anything that requires a lot of effort. It really drains you. Now, interesting, the word travel itself comes from the word travail. Notice they kind of look similar. The idea is a few hundred years ago when you traveled, no matter where you traveled, it was really full of travail because you didn't have these nice airplanes flying you across the country with your own movies that you could watch. No. You went by horse carriage, and dudes descended at night and tried to rob you, and you got stuck in storms and got cholera and died. Travail. So, I guess my trip wasn't that bad in the end. But again, cool, because that word is related to travel. Other traveling words is peripatetic. Means moving about from place to place on foot, walking about. So if you've ever been to Europe or any other city, you're going to find yourself leading a peripatetic existence because you're going to walk around from museum to different restaurants or cool parts of town. And so you'll definitely get your exercise in when you travel. So again, peripatetic, moving from place to place with your feet as opposed to wheels. And it actually comes from the Aristotelian school of philosophy, which sounds really intimidating. What do philosophers have to do with walking? Well, back in the days, actually a lot. And I think we should bring this back instead of just sitting around in a cafe and, not moving and being unhealthy. We can walk around and philosophize just the way that the Aristotle school of philosophy used to do. That's where this word comes from. Next word, histrionics. Now, what does this have to do with travel, you may ask? Once I tell you the definition, that is. Histrionics, outbursts, theatrical outbursts, where you're really upset or you overact, whatever it may be. What does that have to do with travel? Well, my 2-year-old tended to be histrionic. That means she would overreact to whatever the situation would be. If we didn't give her a cookie or a croissant in Paris, she would throw a tantrum on the cafe floor, and it would be very scary. So she would engage in histrionics. Now, obviously, this isn't just limited to toddlers, but anyone who has these outbursts, maybe even you can think of a soccer player. World Cup is coming up soon. There's some soccer players who engage in histrionics, hoping to get sympathy from the ref. That you should get a red card. Finally, vicarious, a great travel word. Vicarious means to experience something through someone else's experience. And the reason this relates to travel is oftentimes you read travel blogs, travel stories, or even tune into a travel show on TV. And the idea is it's nice to sit back in your armchair. You don't have to worry about the travails of traveling, and you can just enjoy secondhand or vicariously the trips of another person. Now, this word, I should make note, doesn't just relate to travel. It means to experience secondhand in general. So you can vicariously live through a main character on your favorite TV show or in your favorite book. So it's as though you've lived that person's life. And if you want to know what it's like to take the GRE vicariously, they have these cool posts on our site where people talk about their post-test. They talk about their experience and how it was really, well, I don't want to say terrible and fraught with travail, but really fun. I'll leave it at that, and I'll see you guys next week, same place, same time. Check us out at gre.magoosh.com.